circle because the hills were stolen from us, and that I got to own property. I had a place in the hills, right? I owned it. And so he said I had come full circle, and he was so proud. Even when he was in hospice dying, he told every single nurse that came in, no matter how many times they came in, even the same ones, he told them that I had land in the hills and that I had come full circle. So I'm kind of glad he passed away before all that other shit happened and the breakup and everything, because he probably would have been chasing people around with guns at the time. Sorry, I didn't realize how loud the music was, and I do not own this music. I bought the CD for my Jeep because I'm old school. I drive an 86 Jeep. When I actually bought it, it had a cassette player in it, and so I put a CD player in it, and so I bought the CD. I do not own the music. I am not making any money off of it. If you look at my YouTube, obviously I am not making any money. So I'm not like trying to bite off a jelly roll or whatever, you know, but you'd think someone like him might appreciate this drive and the fact that right now his CD is soothing my soul, as is this drive through the hills. Because I'm telling you, the Black Hills, they are good medicine. They are definitely good medicine. Now stop talking, let you enjoy the view. We're gonna turn up here pretty soon. There's a car coming behind me. Let's slow down to make sure it's in the police. To be an asshole driver. You're still gonna get where you're going. Actually, you'll definitely get where you're going if nobody's an asshole on the road, right? And if everybody's paying attention. When I'm filming as I'm driving, I am watching all my mirrors, and I am holding the steering wheel with the hand is holding the phone, and my other hand's on the steering wheel too. Because we not only have deer, we have whitetail. Sorry, I'm stuttering. We have whitetail. Oops, that's the visor. My bad. So let me put the visor up because the sun's going down. We have whitetail, and unless I wave at people, I'm weird. But I got it from my dad. He waved to people as he drove, so I do it. But anyway, we have whitetail and mule deer. We have antelope. We have elk, which are huge. Then we have the bighorn sheep, you know, the giant mountain goats. And then every now and then there's cows or horses that get out. And you have mountain lions and coyotes and foxes and dogs, and every now and then there's an Amish buggy. Not too often, but every now and then. And then you have all the UTVs and dirt bikes and all kinds of stuff out here that you have to keep an eye on. When they were building this house right here on this corner, that was a trailer, and they built the house around the trailer, kind of like my dad did on the reservation. It was badass. I always wanted to stop in and be nosy about it and ask him about it, but you know, sometimes you get shot just being too nosy. So now we're gonna turn onto Nemo Road. how old that Nemo Road sign is right there. See that? That's pretty old. Oh, whoops. Rabbit behind us. I'm pull over thick fast so I can video. He waved. Aw, that's so nice. I really appreciate when people appreciate being courteous, you know. But he's speeding. I wouldn't speed through Nemo. You just never know when they're gonna be hanging out. Off season, there's too many cops and on the like violations on the road or whatever. They just hunt you down. They don't want to go check out and go bust like the seriously violent offenders or anything, you know. They want to make sure that you're not going too fast through Nemo because this whole place is a resort, really. That's all that's left of Nemo. But my friend's dad used to go to school here, and he used to ride his horse to school. All the kids did then, or they walked 900 miles uphill both ways in the snow barefoot, you know. Anyways, they went all the UTVs. So, and we haven't had, there's not a lot of snow right here, so there's that old school that my friend's dad went to. I don't know what they do with it now, though, but the firehouse. And, well, there's the Santa firehouse. And, up here is like another campground or a party spot or whatever called Big Mama's. I've been there one time for a beer. Max and I were riding our bikes that day, or riding his bike that day, and his cousin and one of his friends, and my daughter was riding with one of his friends, and it was very cool because it's the first time I ever actually got to go for a ride with my daughter as an adult. And then I think that same year I got to go riding with my son as an adult. He had his own bike and I was on my ex's bike, and it was just awesome. Seriously awesome. So we're still on Nemo Road, and I can't remember where it turns to, like 35, 55, whatever the hell it is, but we're gonna take it right here pretty soon anyway, so it won't matter much more. But look at how pretty all that is, my goodness. This is just so gorgeous. It's cold, it's all good out. Well, today was nice, it was only 50s, but already it's getting chilly, especially up here in higher elevation. It is what it is. I have tags locally, so I don't look like a tourist. But I like to show everybody the reason why I do love the hills. Man, look at that. It's just gorgeous. And we're gonna turn right here. I can't ever remember this road, but it's like Estates or something. But this is my favorite dirt road, and usually I bring extra trash bags, and as I pick up rocks and herbs or whatever, you know, I'll pick up the trash too, so I feel like I'm giving back as I'm taking, you know. So here we go. This is my favorite dirt road. I love this one. But we don't have time to stop today because I already stopped along the way, and that's what happened. The floor and the passenger seat, everything's covered in rocks again. So, I mean, it's really thick in there. And some are quite heavy. And definitely didn't get back on the road. He went backwards the other way. And I don't see a whole lot of rabbits anymore because the big cats. There was mountain lion tracks in the yard in Sturgis and at the vineyard right behind the house in Sturgis. So they're getting pretty desperate if they're coming into town. We don't let the dog out after dark anymore. And the kitty's just not allowed outside at all because I haven't got her fixed. And she keeps going into heat like every week and a half or something. Good Lord, I haven't gotten any kind of sleep. Oh, okay. Alright, now I can see again. Anyway, look how pretty it is. Look at all this. Until I got to Tennessee, and I think Georgia too, because mostly Colorado and South Dakota, you know, we got all kinds of different pine trees and juniper, you know, blue spruce, all that kind of stuff. But we have some aspen and birch too, but mostly it's all some sort of pine, you know. And so I couldn't believe it when I saw like an entire forest full of trees with actual leaves. It just blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, like I said, I go a little bit slower on this road when I'm filming. Just because there's a big drop. I don't know if you can see it or not, but let's see if I can use my other hand over here. There's a big drop over there, and we don't want to be part of it. There's another guy waving by. They wave. They're so nice. And so yeah, you can see like there's a big drop right there. You know, not right there anymore. The drop's not there yet, but we'll come up on some pretty gnarly ones pretty soon. Anyway, I don't know. I have no idea how people ever make it home drunk on these roads. Like, there is no way I'd ever be able to do that. Oh, they're cleaning that up pretty good. So we must have got it. Or deer season's coming up, so they're trying to prepare. Oh, they're logging all in there. Somebody's probably going to build some property. I like to harvest wild rose bushes where they're logging, because and other things while they're logging, because they don't care. They're already gonna smash it or dig it up or plow it over or whatever, you know. And so that's the best time ever to harvest is when they're logging. If you can find a spot where they're logging, that's the best way to do it. There's a drop over here that, whoa, I can't show you because we got this corner. Yeah, let me slow down a little bit. I'll show you this drop over here. Ooh, I'd like to look those rocks, but we're around the corner and I don't want nobody to die. But yeah, so you see that drop. Down in that holler, or the dell, or whatever you want to call it, in the valley. Man, we got plenty of water too. There's been some rock slides on this road. I can definitely tell that. With all these storms, there is broken trees and rocks and all kinds of stuff going on this road right now. It took a beating from the storm. Like, I haven't been up this way since probably November, maybe December. I'm not sure if I came December or not, but man, put my visor back down. Oh yeah, see, so like right here where they're logging, that's where you go and you can harvest like little wild the wild roses here are really very small at first, because we have such a short growing season. But I've taken several back to town and put them in the yard. And at first, they went through a little bit of shock. But after that initial shock, they started growing great. And next year, I'm going to have quite a bit of roses in that one flower bed. Those are some pretty nice rocks right there. But my goodness, that would be heavy. And then I'd actually have to open the back door to fit them in because I got rocks everywhere now. Look how pretty it is. Oops. Something shifted back over there. Anyways, yeah, it's so beautiful. And some of the big ones, lodgepole pines. I think in the south, that's what y'all are calling loplolly or something like that. Loblolly or loplolly, something. And what happened was down south, they went in and logged a bunch of, hardwoods. And really expensive, nice hardwoods like red oak, white oak, all that kind of stuff. Well, they told everybody they were going to replant. They just, the storm, I don't know if they're cleaning up from the storm or if they're logging. But anyway, so they told the locals that they were going to plant more trees. And it wouldn't just be clear cut and left alone, right? Well, then instead of planting hardwoods, they planted those loblolly or loplolly pines or whatever. And they grow big and tall. And so I think that's what we call lodgepole pines. I'm not real sure. I'll have to, goodness, I can't see. Yeah, they're doing a little bit more logging over there too. And yeah, quite a bit of it. Sorry about the camera work, but honestly I'm trying to drive. Some of these just fell down because of the storm. You can tell the way they're cut. But yeah, I have to start getting on my way because it's gonna be dark on the way back, and I only have liability insurance, and I could barely afford that. So anyway, y'all have a great night. Enjoy the beauty around you, and if it's not around you, go find it. Sometimes, no matter where you live in the city, it's just going to take you a little bit to get out of the city. And the further we are from nature, the more unhealthy we are. Like personality and health-wise, and just, society's a mess. And it's because we've gotten so far away from nature, and we're letting them take it more and more and more. And I'm telling you, you go spend a little bit of time in the woods, I think I still have this, like, really big close up. Okay, there we go. But yeah, I'm telling you, you go spend a little bit of time in the woods, and, man, I just keep wanting to get out and go look down that. It's a pretty deep cliff down there, but I am just wearing my little red Converse and my camo leggings. I am not ready for some hill climbing today, but some of these trails, well, I sure like to take them. And I had Lucille. Every now and then I'd take a few trails in Lucille, and sometimes I ended up having to back up all the way back down the trail. But it was always just something to do to get out of town. And I'm gonna let this guy pass. And anyway, I promise you, if you make plans to leave the city, whatever city you're in, even if it's just a day, an afternoon, whatever, you leave the town for a little while, and you make it a point to do it, like once a week or once every 2 weeks. But you make it a point, like when you're like strictly dieting or strictly working out or whatever, right? Like make it strict in your life. Like make it a thing that you must do for your own health. And get out into the country and or the mountains or whatever you have in your area. And learn about it too. Learn about the history. Spend the time asking folks or reading books or whatever, you know, looking around. And, you know, it's amazing how many cemeteries are just forgotten. It makes me wonder how many generations before a person is forgotten. You know, besides like someone famous or whatever, right? But still, after a few generations, people don't really know them anymore, right? And so I was just thinking about that. You gotta make the best of what you got now, because it's not always gonna be there, right? It's a chance, because sometimes these cows are outside the road, and no more, and it was just, that's when I had to move into town. I had to leave that farmhouse and move into town, and life changed dramatically. Anyway, wow man, look at just, I'm just saying. It's beautiful. And I know if you live in the Rockies or the Smokies or wherever it is that you decide, you know, that you live, you're going to say, well, it's prettier here, or we got higher mountains, or yours are just called the hills or whatever, you know. But, you know what's great about the Black Hills? Until recently, there wasn't a whole lot of people except for tourist season, right? Now, they're building all these, there's the horses. Oh, I just love them. And they're all covered up. I'm going to back up a little bit because nobody's behind me, but I just love these guys, and I check them out every time I drive by, but they're all covered up. Look at that barn in the background. That was so pretty. Can you see it? These people are probably going to shoot me someday. What are you doing? Oh, there it is. Isn't it pretty? Oh, and they're all covered up, and they're just so pretty. Anyway, oh, I like the star on that one, too. And this house, I'm telling you. Talk about a dream. I wouldn't want to live, like, oops. I'm still in reverse, there's a car coming. That's hilarious. Okay, let's get over on the side of the road a little bit more. Oh, look, it says Wildlife Crossing. Whoops, where'd it go? There it is. Wildlife Crossing. That's so cute. It was a big old RV. Good thing I didn't back into that motherfucker. That would have sucked. Anyway, that house. I want to get a sign like that. That's super cute. Anyway, some kind of a dream. Oh, you can see my little... Some of these made it through the crash with Lucille even. Okay. I'm at home among the trees. No true statement. Anyway, this house is just, man, I just can't imagine. Of course, then you're also like cleaning windows and dusting and trying to keep it warm, and obviously they got some kind of fireplace or wood heat or whatever. So, but that place is just absolutely gorgeous. I'm in love with that house. And the Sugar Shack is up and running. Sugar Shack. baby. Yeah, that song, whatever. And there's that coffee place. And they are an amazing family. Stop in, have some coffee or snacks or whatever, you know. And then there's Trout Haven right down there. You could catch your own trout, and then they'll cook it up for you. And there's the big giant, that's the world's largest rocking chair. And then they own the pond in the back too. Be careful in the summertime, because unless they treated or something, there was an insane amount of mosquitoes that used to be Cousin's Pizza. And we'd go there for pizza and a beer, or pizza and a soda, whatever, you know, depending on who's driving. And we got eaten up. And up here, you know, we don't have as many ticks, but we do have ticks. And we don't have as much tick fever, but we probably got some. But up here, it's West Nile, man, and that definitely will kill you. I had 2 different friends that their moms died of West Nile on the reservation. It's just, everything out here will kill you or heal you. Anyway, so we're almost there, and this is a very long video, so I'm probably boring y'all out. There's some more to see all this, because they opened all this up, right? Yeah, I showed you guys that when this was still just a big mess. I want to go through those rocks right there, though, I'm telling you. But, anyway, so yeah, now it's wider. I mean, it's still 2 lanes, you know, but they have room to pull off the side of the road in case of emergency, thank goodness. And they have turning lanes now, you know, so you don't have to risk your life if you're on a bike and you gotta stop and turn it into a campground or whatever, you know. Anyway, so I'm gonna get on the phone. The speed limit's raising, and it's about that time for deer to start moving around. Y'all stay safe and warm. Love y'all. Thank you for visiting my channel. You know, I know it's not really about anything like really important, like no celebrities, no gossip, no whatever, you know. And well, I might gossip, but not about famous people, I guess. But you know, just coming to visit and check my videos out and see how I'm doing after my son died, and like you know, liking or subscribing, whatever, you know, all those things, they make me smile, you know. And it's really hard when you lose a child to find things that are actually going to make you smile, right? And I hope that no one ever has to know the feeling of losing a child. But when you do, my God, it is just, I just can't even explain it this quick, you know. And I don't want to get all emotional before I show up at my, I call her other mother. She's been the biggest support I've had in my life since my dad died 11 years ago, and I used to live next door to her. Look at that old man's house is still there. He used to walk to him from the store all the way. And I'm so glad. But there's like all kinds of other buildings going on up here. I guess there's not boulevards or anything, but check this shit out. There's like some cool ass like vans and buses and stuff like that. And there's a car coming right over. But look at those vans. Aren't those not amazing? Look at this. Oops, I read from my turn signal in case that's Popo. Look at how awesome those vans are. And the cabin. It is so awesome. And then there's more cabins. I think they honked at me. I'm like clearly off the road. But anyway, I'm gonna just go slow a little bit. Oh, and so here's another campground, right? We have a lot of those little cabins and stuff. And, oh yeah, so what I was saying was they're making all these big mansions. They're building all these big mansions in Lead and Deadwood, and they're only for Airbnb. They're building all these places, and they're not for local residents. Excuse me. And so, we still have a huge housing crisis in South Dakota because everybody wants to make that $1 million off of all those Airbnbs or whatever, you know, and not really give people places to live or whatever, you know. But I don't know what it is about this property besides that washing machine. You see it? Ooh, I had one of those at the cabin. Love them. I actually worked at a motel in 2012 or 2013. And they made me use one of those washing machines for all the linen at the motel. Yeah, it was definitely a motel because it was some nasty shit. So I worked there for a few weeks because I had to work somewhere. And then when other jobs started calling, boy, I ran like hell. But I love these kind of little properties. There's just so much. And some of the original buildings. And can you see that? Let me stop completely. It's hard to reach around with my neck. It's very still look. See that? All those old buildings and stuff. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, look at that old station wagon too. My goodness. Every time I drive past this place, there's something else to see. And I wish I had balls enough to like drive up and make friends with them. And I might do that someday. And with a white flag, like, please don't shoot me or something, you know. But then there's another road going up there somewhere. Let me shorten this back down. There you go. So there's another road going up that way, and then there's more of that campground. And I think they have a general store in there too. But trust me, whatever they sell is gonna be like 200 times more expensive than it would be anywhere else. But yeah, see, these buildings keep going over here. Like, there's just more and more and more. And I was just friends with them because I would totally build something back there. And just with the wood burner, we stocked for wintertime. You wouldn't have to do nothing for the wintertime. Just like hang out a little bit or whatever. And there's somebody, that must be the owner of the campground because they live awful close to it. And without owning it, I don't think anybody would want to live that close to a campground. Oh, and they have like this kind of field tank or something. Oh, and there's a building falling apart right there too. It looks like traffic is clear. So we're gonna go back out here. I'm gonna stop the video pretty soon though, so I don't divulge any secrets or anything or invade anybody's privacy. That is a YMCA camp. It was some kind of storage during the time, or you know, for heavy vehicles, heavy equipment, while they were fixing the road and stuff. And then that did not used to be a campground, but it's very cool. I used to know the guy that owned that property, but I can't remember what his name is, so obviously I don't know him anymore. Be safe, have a good night, stay warm, be courteous drivers, don't be a dickhead.